In the heart of winter, the United States finds itself grappling with a convergence of crises, from a sprawling deadly storm system paralyzing daily life for millions, to the raw anger spilling onto the streets of a major American city. The headlines on this Monday, January 26, 2026, paint a picture of a nation under immense strain. These are not distant, abstract events. They are impacting families in their homes, travelers in airports, communities demanding justice in the face of tragedy. The stories unfolding today are a stark reminder of the fragile balance between nature's power, civic order, international diplomacy, all happening at once. We begin with the weather, a story affecting nearly 200 million Americans. The sheer scale of this winter weather event is difficult to overstate. It is a coast-to-coast system bringing a dangerous mix of frigid temperatures, ice-heavy snow from New Mexico to the northeast. Communities are bracing for impact or already reeling from its effects. Forecasters warn that the dangerously low temperatures and freezing rain are expected to persist, prolonging the threat to infrastructure and human life. This is not just a snow day. For many, it is a life-threatening emergency that has shut down entire regions and pushed emergency services to their limits. The storm's impact has been particularly severe in the south, where infrastructure is often less prepared for prolonged periods of extreme cold. Reports indicate that approximately 900,000 customers are currently without electricity, turning a weather crisis into a humanitarian one as families huddle in dark, cold homes. The consequences have been fatal. The Louisiana Department of Public Health has confirmed that at least 2 people have died from hypothermia, a direct result of exposure to the cold. In Austin, Texas, city officials have also confirmed at least 1 storm-related death. A grim statistic that underscores the very real danger this weather poses. For the nation's travelers, the storm has created chaos and paralysis. More than 11,000 flights have been canceled in recent days. Sunday was marked as one of the single biggest days for weather-related flight cancellations in United States history. The ripple effects of these cancellations will be felt for days, leaving families and business travelers in a state of frustrating limbo. Beyond the airports, the nation's roadways have become treacherous. Layers of ice and blankets of snow have made driving extremely hazardous, leading to countless accidents and road closures. Local and state transportation departments are working around the clock, deploying fleets of plows and salt trucks. While the storm commands attention across much of the country, the city of Minneapolis is consumed by a crisis of a different nature. Tensions have reached a boiling point following the fatal shooting of Alex Jeffrey Priddy, a 37-year-old U.S. citizen and ICU nurse, during an encounter with federal immigration officials on Saturday. This incident is not an isolated one. It is the second deadly shooting involving immigration and customs enforcement officers in the city this month, following the killing of Renee Macklin Good on January 7th. The community's grief has quickly turned into a powerful wave of anger and a demand for immediate action. In an incredible display of collective resolve, thousands of residents have taken to the streets to protest the killings. Organizers estimate that as many as 50,000 people participated in demonstrations, braving dangerously cold temperatures that plummeted to -29 degrees Celsius. The sight of such a massive crowd marching in sub-zero conditions speaks volumes about the depth of the community's outrage. Protesters are calling for an end to the federal immigration operations in their city and demanding transparency and accountability for the officers involved in the shootings. The city is unified in its sorrow and its search for justice. The response from state and local leaders has been swift and sharp. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz described the shooting of Alex Priddy as sickening and stated that he has been in direct communication with the White House. His message was unequivocal, demanding that the president must end this operation. This public break with the federal government's actions highlights the severe strain the operation has placed on local and federal relationships. The call for a halt to the raids has been echoed by labor unions, community organizations, faith leaders who have also called for a general strike in protest. The economic and social fabric of the city has been visibly disrupted by the community's response. In a remarkable show of solidarity with the protesters, hundreds of businesses across Minnesota closed their doors. This widespread participation, from small shops to larger enterprises, demonstrates that the concern over these shootings extends far beyond activist circles. It signals a broad-based rejection of the federal tactics being employed and a deep-seated fear within the community. The city is not just protesting, it is actively resisting in a way that is bringing normal life to a standstill. As protests continue on the streets of Minneapolis, a critical battle is now being waged in the courtroom. The legal system has stepped into the fray, with a federal judge taking decisive action to preserve the integrity of the investigation into Alex Pretty's death. U.S. District Court Judge Eric Tostrad has granted a temporary restraining order against the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, a significant legal maneuver. This order explicitly prohibits the department from altering, destroying, otherwise tampering with any evidence related to the fatal shooting of the ICU nurse. This judicial intervention is a direct response to fears from community leaders and legal advocates that crucial evidence could be lost or compromised. The temporary restraining order ensures that a legal firewall is in place while the case is examined, protecting body camera footage, protecting official reports, protecting communications between agents. It represents a crucial first step for those seeking an impartial and thorough investigation into the circumstances that led to Pretty's death. The court's involvement signals that the actions of federal agents will be subject to independent scrutiny and legal oversight. The legal challenge has also brought conflicting official narratives into sharp focus. On one hand, ICE has reported that out of 2,000 arrests made during its Minneapolis operation, 103 individuals had records of violent crimes. Far from the domestic turmoil of storms, protests, President Donald Trump has been making headlines of his own on the global stage. Speaking at the World Economic Forum in Davos, political elite, financial elite, the president addressed his long-standing interest in the United States acquiring Greenland. He made a point to rule out the use of military force to achieve this goal. "I won't do that. I won't use force." The assurance was meant to quell speculation about a more aggressive posture. But he immediately followed with a thinly veiled threat aimed at NATO allies. While disavowing military action, he warned European nations that opposed the purchase. "You can say yes, and we will be very appreciative. Or you can say no, and we will remember." Days earlier, the administration took concrete action against European countries. Trump announced new tariffs on 8 European nations, citing their obstinance on the Greenland issue. The move weaponizes trade policy to exert diplomatic pressure. Tariffs send a clear signal. Opposition will carry an economic cost, escalating tensions with close partners. The reaction has been uniform rejection and condemnation across the alliance. Danish officials, Greenlandic officials, have flatly dismissed any notion of a sale as absurd. Several other key NATO allies have publicly condemned the push as a destabilizing distraction. The president's transactional approach to diplomacy, framing alliances in terms of what others can do for the U.S., continues to create friction and undermine NATO solidarity built over decades. These domestic events are set against a backdrop of bold international declarations. Speaking from the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, while ruling out military force, his words carried a distinct threat to NATO allies who stand in his way. The events of the past few days have converged to create a moment of profound challenge for the United States. A historic winter storm is unfolding. It is endangering lives. It's crippling infrastructure across a vast stretch of the country. In Minneapolis, a community is in open revolt, mourning the dead, demanding justice from the federal agencies sworn to protect them. On the world stage, the nation's leadership is employing coercive tactics against its own allies. These stories collectively contribute to a sense of national unease. They highlight the fragility of our systems, in the face of nature, in the face of injustice, in the face of political pressure. As we move forward, the immediate priority for millions is safety. The winter storm remains a clear and present danger. Heed the warnings of local officials. Stay off the roads, take precautions against the life-threatening cold. Checking on neighbors is a critical act of community support, especially the elderly and the vulnerable. For those caught in travel chaos, patience will be essential. Airlines and airports are working to untangle thousands of cancellations. This is a time for caution and mutual aid. In Minneapolis, the path forward is fraught with legal and emotional complexity. The temporary restraining order is a vital step, but it's only the beginning of a long, contentious legal process. The eyes of the nation will remain on the city as it navigates grief and continues its call for accountability. The events there are a testament to the right to peaceful protest and to the enduring demand for justice and transparency from law enforcement. The community's resilience in the face of tragedy and extreme cold is a story in itself. Ultimately, these headlines remind us events are still very much in motion. The storm will eventually pass. but its impact will be felt long after the snow melts. The protests in Minneapolis may evolve, but police conduct will remain central, and immigration policy will too. The president's words in Davos will continue to reverberate through diplomacy, shaping relationships for years to come. This is a dangerous and important time. The best we can do is stay safe, stay informed, stay aware. Each of these stories is complex and continues to develop. The immediate focus for many is simply survival, staying warm and safe as the storm rages on. For others, the focus is on demanding accountability and systemic change in the wake of violence. And on the world stage, leaders are carefully parsing the president's latest pronouncements, weighing the potential consequences for their economies and alliances. As we delve into these headlines, we will break down the facts, hear from the people affected, and provide the context needed to understand this critical juncture in the nation's life.